Alright, Shalom. First off, give all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakar Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring, and truth and sincerity in the women and children who follow. So I just wanted to do a little update, man. I seen the article, the spirit, so I just wanted to, just do a video, a little lesson right now. Okay, so this is, it says, the most powerful storm on Earth is bearing down on Japan. Alright, this is from the Earther. Okay, it says, I think it's time to retire Maria as a name for any storm. The name has been wiped out, or has been wiped from the hurricane list in the Atlantic after Hurricane Maria completely upended life in the Caribbean. Y'all might remember that from last year, where it took over Puerto Rico. They're still recovering. All those little Caribbean islands, Bahamas, all that. They really got fucked up last year. But it's still on the rolls in the Pacific, where Typhoon Maria is about to make life miserable. Okay, so it says, the storm has ping-ponged between being an equivalent of a Category 4 and a Category 5 storm since late last week. Maria could clip Japan's Ryukyu Islands and Taiwan before slamming into China's central coast on Wednesday, dumping heavy rains along the way that could be an issue in Japan, which is already reeling from historic flooding that has left at least 109 dead and 2 million people ready to evacuate. And, on those little islands, and really, Japan is a little island in itself. It's a small land strip, but it's really dense, okay? That's why there's not a lot of room in Japan to expand and build out, so they build up, okay? There's, they have like a economy-size housing, where you might have a household of 3 or 4 living in like a 1-bedroom apartment. But that's just what they're used to. Okay, so like I said, they don't build out, they build up. So they have a lot of tall buildings and stuff like that could be affected with this. But like I think it said, it's just gonna mainly hit like those little islands, and then which are more likely most of those are like farming villages and stuff like that. But that's gonna affect their crops. It's gonna definitely affect their food and GDP as far as commerce is concerned. As of Monday, Maria was spinning as a strong Category 4 storm about 300 miles from Okinawa, with sustained winds of nearly 143 miles an hour, according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. It says gusts are even more potent, reaching an estimated 174 miles an hour. The current buzzsaw of the storm is a far cry from where it was on Thursday, when it was just a tropical storm with winds around 70 miles an hour. Yeah, man, you had a extra 100 miles an hour to anything. And, the danger is a new level. So we're going to break this down, because it's talking about the storm heading towards Japan right now, which they have, of course they got hit by Fukushima, and, they're still reeling off of all these flooding that's been going on. You got a lot of people that died. And from what it's saying, it's just going to get worse. But you can't overlook the fact that it said that it's ready to hit China on Wednesday. Now, we're in a trade war with China. And just like, a few years back, they have what's called the HAARP machine. Okay, so that HAARP machine a few years back created that tsunami, which hit Japan and created the whole Fukushima, fallout aspect. Now, the Maria from last year, we know that was man-made. Okay, from the way the size of it, the way it moved, it wasn't operating like a regular hurricane. You when it hit Houston, I don't think Maria hit Houston, but that whole hurricane season, there was big hurricane after hurricane that hit the South, and they have that HAARP machine to do that. Now they got the new Maria, which is set to hit Japan and then China. Like I said before, we're in a trade war with China. So what better way to help slow things down, to help stop their economy, than to hit them with a natural disaster? Okay, it's all a way to keep them in line, and to keep your ducks in a row, because there's no way that America's gonna win this trade war with China. So let's see if there's anything left in this article. It says, from Thursday to Friday, the storm exploded. Warm waters and calm upper level winds allowed the storm to blow up to a Category 5 monster with 160 winds in 24 hours. Okay, so in 24 hours, it went from, because it said last Thursday, it was a tropical storm, and then on Friday, it's a Category 5. That makes no fucking sense, dog. You skip 4 categories, 5 categories, in a day, from 70 miles an hour to 160 miles an hour in 24 hours, and you telling me it's not hard? In meteorological parlance, the storm underwent rapid intensification, which weather geeks define as a storm winds increasing 35 miles an hour in a 24-hour period. Maria more than met that criteria. So what they're saying is, if a storm increases 35 miles an hour in a 24-hour period, that's astronomical. Okay, to go from 70 to 105. This joint went from 70 to 160. And this ain't hard? Come on now, man. Open up your eyes. Realize what's really going on, man. Look at the big picture. The storm weakened a bit over the course of Friday into Saturday, before picking up steam again on Sunday and reaching Category 5 status for the second time in its lifespan. And that's all they got to do is, pump a little hot air into it. Keep the conditions right so it can, do its job. From here on out, the storm is likely to hold steady and then slowly decay as it approaches land, and upper level winds become more inhospitable to the storm's structure and rotation. But even as it weakens, Maria will remain dangerous. By tomorrow evening, it's forecast to reach the southern end of Ryukyu Island, a small archipelago in the southern edge of Japan. At that time, Maria's forecast is to have 130-mile-an-hour winds, which is equivalent to a strong Category 3 storm. Up to 8 inches of rain could fall as well. Japan is already struggling to respond to flooding throughout the central and western part of Honshu, the country's main island. Any damage in far-flung parts of the Ryukyu Islands will only stretch resources further. The storm is forecast to remain in Category 3 as it passes near the northern edge of Taiwan on Wednesday as well. Even if Maria doesn't make landfall there, it's likely to drop 12 inches of rain over the hilly terrain. That same terrain will also weaken the storm further, and is forecast to be a Category 1 equivalent storm at landfall in China. So it's saying that when it hits China, it's not going to be as strong. We'll see. We'll see. Because like I said, with this whole trade war with China, you never know. The Houston storms, they came in, they went over landfall, they got weak, then they went back out to the water, where the water was warm, it got reheated, okay, and then spun right back in towards Louisiana, I believe, in Mississippi. Stronger. So, we'll see. But that's just a update on what's going on with the weather. Get this precept real quick. This is Isaiah 29, and I'll start at verse 6. It says, "Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and with great noise and with storm of tempest and flame of devouring fire." Okay, that's what's going on here, man. The Lord is visiting, man. The Lord is speaking. He's letting it be known that with these big freak storms, okay, these earthquakes, there's been a lot of earthquakes going on. You had the volcanoes in Hawaii, with all this seismic activity, okay. He's speaking. He's letting it known that he's about to make his appearance, man. So with this being said, just stay on your grind, do what you're supposed to be doing in this truth, and endure and stay humble. Call all Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, B'Hashem Makar Kadash. The double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect. All the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, and the women and children who follow. Shalom.